Welcome back. Episode 4, the OC Show. I am your host, Donnie Henderson, and I am excited to get to this show today. We are going to talk about a couple of things that are near and dear to my heart. No spoilers, although I actually have a spoiler on because it's almost football season, but I'll get into that a little bit later. First off, we got to start with our Sports Jewel like we start off with every show. Sports Jewel is brought to you by Simflix. All of your video, photo, party needs, if you want it documented the right way, if you want it documented in a special way, if you want to remember your special event, whether it be an anniversary, whether it be a birthday, whether it be a graduation, whatever the occasion, give Simflix a call, area code 586-491-5382. Ask for Sim Henderson. Mention that you heard this spot on the OC show, and I'm sure he might do something special for you. He does stuff special for people anyway, because that's the kind of guy the owner is. Simflix, area code 586-491-5382. Sports Jewel, today we're going to talk about, I was going to say a young lady, but she's not young. She's a blessed woman, very blessed woman, who celebrated a birthday last week. Rachel Robinson, wife of the late Jackie Robinson. We all know about Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier in baseball all those years ago. They retired his number 42, and each season, Major League Baseball, they honor Jackie Robinson by wearing the number 42 for every person in every game. So it's a great honor, but Rachel Robinson celebrated her 101st birthday on July 17th. Widow of Jackie Robinson, celebrated baseball great who broke the color barrier back in 1947. She's a former civil rights activist and nurse. Mrs. Robinson served as an assistant professor at Yale and has accepted several honors on behalf of Jackie. She never remarried. Was loyal to the cause back then and to this day. We want to wish Rachel Robinson, wife of Jackie Robinson, a very happy 101st birthday. Thank you, ma'am, for all that you've done in our country. Now, the main thing we're going to get to today, and it's very near and dear to my heart because many of you have asked, and many of you already know, that I am obviously a sports fan. I wouldn't be doing a sports show if I wasn't a sports fan, but I'm a sports fan. And I don't really know how I became a sports fan because my dad, he likes sports, but he's not like into it crazy. He's not a fanatic at all. He'll call me and say, hey, what channel is this game on? What's that game on? When's the Super Bowl? Who's playing? He doesn't know. He doesn't really care that much. My mom was competitive, but she just kind of liked the sports that I like. But I'm a Detroiter. Grew up in Detroit, the Detroit area, and I'm a Detroit sports fan. And as far as sports fandom goes, I've been pretty fortunate. In my lifetime. I'm 45 years old. So I've seen a lot of championships, a lot more than people will kind of think of and give me credit for, give my city credit for. Now, we'll go right down the line. My first love was baseball. I love baseball. And so I've seen the Detroit Tigers win the World Series. Although I was a little boy, I remember the Bless You Boys back in 1984. Kirk Gibson, Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker, Chet Lemon, Darrell Evans. Don't get me started. I'm a baseball guy. Those Detroit Tigers teams in the mid-'80s, 1984, we won it all. 87, we made it to the American League Championship. And then the recent success back in the early 2000s, mid-2000s. I've seen the Tigers be good. I've seen them win championships. I've also seen them lose 119 games. But we're talking about the good things today, the good things. But I've seen my Tigers be good. I've seen the Detroit Pistons win a championship. Now, I'm going to be very transparent and straight up with you like I'm going to always be on this show. 1988, 1989, I saw the Detroit Pistons win, but I'm not going to sit here in front. I wasn't a Detroit Pistons fan right then. I was a Bulls fan at that time. I was a Jordan guy. Right above me, we got a picture. A friend of mine, Chris Hughes, drew that picture back in college and gave it to me. That picture will always be on this show at some point or another. Chris Hughes is going through some health difficulties, and I'm going to give him a short shout out. Prayers to him. Chris Hughes drew that picture of Michael Jordan. I was a Jordan guy. I was a Bulls fan. I'm not going to front and say that, oh, back in those Bad Boys days, I was on the Bad Boys whole thing. I wasn't. I was a Jordan guy. I was at the game where the Pistons walked off the court and the Bulls actually got over the hump, beat the Bulls, and were able to go to the finals. I was a Bulls guy. That being said, once I got to college and grew up a little bit, I was like, you know what? My loyalties are with my city and everything. So I became a Pistons fan. So I saw that Detroit Pistons team win in 2004. So I'll claim that championship. So I've seen my teams win. I've seen the Pistons win. Red Wings, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a big time hockey fan, but those Red Wings teams in 1997, 98, 2002, 2008, I've seen those championship teams. I've seen it. And so me being a Detroiter, wanting my city to win is always going to be first and foremost on my radar. Seeing the Red Wings win. Even go to college sports. I'm not a fan of that team in East Lansing. I'm not a fan of that team in East Lansing. That team, not a fan. But you have to give them their props because in 2000 they won the NCAA basketball championship. And so in 89, I saw the Michigan Wolverines win national championship in basketball. I saw the Fab Five make it to the finals 2 years in a row. I've seen them win. Michigan football. Football's coming up here very soon. Can't wait to get into football season. 1997, Charles Woodson, that Rose Bowl win over the Washington State Cougars. I've seen Michigan football win. I've seen all of my teams win. Except one. We saw the Tigers, we've seen the Pistons, we've seen the Red Wings, I've seen Michigan Wolverines basketball and football. There's one team that I haven't seen win. And if we want to talk about haven't seen win, it's ridiculous what the city and this fan base has gone through. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I present to you the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions. Now, again, I'm 45 years old, so whether you're a Michigan or Michigan State fan, you've seen your teams win. And if you're a Detroit sports fan, we've seen Pistons, Tigers, Red Wings. We've seen them all win. But we don't know that feeling of a Super Bowl victory. We don't know it. I'll even go one step further. We only know about one playoff win since 1991. So we haven't come close. And so as far as the NFL goes, we're a laughing stock. People laugh at us. They're like, oh, you're a Lions fan. Good luck. God bless. We have never seen sustained success. But in my lifetime, I've been fortunate, again, like I said before, I've seen a lot of games. A lot of Detroit Lions games. Big thanks to the Taylor family for always inviting me and letting me to tag along for several games. I've seen 15 to 20 Lions games at the Silverdome way back when. And when you talk about those Lions games at the Silverdome, there's one person that electrified the whole stadium. One person electrified that building and gave us Detroit Lions fans hope. Who's that guy? The guy, Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders. Who's Barry Sanders? Barry Sanders was the third overall pick in 1989. Played 10 seasons, 10 Pro Bowls, two-time Offensive Player of the Year, four-time NFL rushing champion, NFL rushing touchdowns leader in 1991 when they won their playoff game. Six-time first-team All-Pro, four-time second-team All-Pro, Rookie of the Year back in '89. The Lions retired his number. Our guy, our version of what an NFL caliber NFL player was. He was our guy. He was our guy. He was the reason why those Silverdome crowds chanted Barry, Barry, Barry. Eclipsed 2,000 yards against the Jets. Back then it was an accomplishment to get 2,000 yards. Now it's a little bit, I'm not going to say it's easier, but it was a big accomplishment. Accomplishment upon accomplishment upon accomplishment. But let me tell you something about Detroit Lions fans. Let me tell you something about the Detroit Lions. We had the guy. We had the most electrifying player in the NFL. Many say the greatest running back of all time. Of all time. We can argue it back and forth. Many of my friends argue that it may be Walter Payton. Many others will say, Emmitt Smith. We can argue back and forth, and it's a fun argument. We're not going to have that argument today on the show. But Barry Sanders was Detroit Lions football. Detroit Lions football gave us hope until that day. And we're almost to the day that this happened. Being a Detroit Lions fan is so frustrating. Yeah, right now we're on the come up. People are picking us to win the NFC North. And I hope we win the NFC North because I want a new t-shirt. I want to be able to put a shirt on the neck on a show here in January, February. NFC North champions. I'd love that. A little bit of history. We've never won the NFC North. Never won the NFC North. Never had a division championship. Ford Field has been home to the Detroit Lions for over 20 years now. There's been one playoff game in Ford Field. You know what game that was? That was the Super Bowl between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Seattle Seahawks. Never a home playoff game in Ford Field. Will it happen this season? I don't know. But back to what we're talking about before. Barry Sanders played those 10 seasons and then abruptly retired. July 27, 1999. I'm doing this show July 26, 2023. And so it's almost to the day. Just up and retired. And didn't hold a press conference because that's not how Barry was. There's no social media back then. But Barry Sanders up and retired. On the graphic here, I'm going to post all the things that were going on the last time the Lions won a playoff game. But let's go back to how Barry Sanders just retired. He just up and retired. Not by a press conference, not by calling the Lions and saying, you know what, I'm done, I'm going to hang it up, not giving any warning. Now, if you know anything about football and football season, it's training camp right now. This is right before training camp. He retires. So the Detroit Lions had no contingency plan for running back. He just retired by fax and then left the country. Retired by fax and then left the country. For those of you who are young and don't know what a fax machine is, this is before social media, before the internet, before GPS, before all these different things. My man sent a piece of paper in through his agent to the Wichita paper, the Wichita local paper, because he was from Wichita. He is from Wichita, Kansas. Sent that information to them, not even to Detroit. Sent it to Wichita, saying that he was done playing football. Our guy, our best player, our hope to win games, walked out the door before training camp. That's Detroit Lions football. That's Detroit Lions. Why did he do it? We could go on, and we don't have time to go on why he did what he did, but he did it. And in 1999, I'm a college student at that point, about a year away from graduating from college. So I'm a big sports fan. I don't have anything else to do. I'm just, college, sports, don't have a wife and kids at this time. So when this news hit, me and thousands upon thousands of Lions fans were crushed. We felt betrayed. But deep in our hearts, it was SOL. Now, some of you already say, "Oh, SOL, that we know what that means." SOL means something different in Detroit. I'm going to tell you what SOL means if you don't know. Same old Lions. And for years and years and years, we've gone through so many top draft picks. We've gone through all sorts of different things that have happened as far as NFL season goes. We've seen expansion teams win championships. We've seen teams move and win championships. We've seen all sorts of things happen. But the same thing, the constant in a Detroit fan and Detroit Lions fan is this. The Lions are going to be the Lions. They're going to be the same old Lions. I hope that this all changes. Now, back to Barry Sanders and his retirement back in 1999. We were hurt. Lions fans were hurt. But we were used to same old Lions. We were used to them losing in crazy ways or the referees doing something and making excuses. We were used to them being bad. But this set us back, way back. For your best player to leave before training camp and not giving the organization a contingency to be able to even prepare for it set us back. And so we were mad at Barry Sanders. And I think rightly so. We were mad at Barry Sanders on the surface, but as the story goes on, and we won't get into the whole story, Barry had his reasons. And going into a season again, and not only, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, not only did Barry Sanders retire in 1999, he was about 1,500 yards away from breaking the all-time rushing record. If anything, we could have held on to that, Lions fans. We were looking forward to that. Okay, he's going to break the rushing record probably this year. If not this year, early the next season. And if he would have broke that record, he would have probably still been the guy on top. Emmitt Smith ended up breaking it, but Barry Sanders at least would have given Detroiters that. So he not only took away the hope for the 1999 season, but he took away Detroit fans having something to hold on to. Same old Lions. It's just our luck. Things just happen to us. Why am I a sports fan? Why are any of us sports fans? We love to see our teams win. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. It's all part of being a sports fan. Some of our teams win a lot. Some of our teams seem like they never win. But the journey is what we love as sports fans. The journey for a Detroit Lions fan is something that no other fan base can relate to. Hopefully it changes this year. The Detroit Lions are predicted to be good this season, which scares me to death. I'll accept it. I'll be so happy. Right now, what I want as a Detroit Lions fan, and many of us we want a home playoff win. We want multiple playoff wins. I'm 45 years old. I've seen one Detroit Lions playoff win. Hopefully that changes. Why am I a sports fan? Why are we all sports fans? The thrill of victory. And how thrilling would it be for Detroit Lions fans to see that happen? Now, I don't know where you're watching this. I don't know where you're looking at this podcast and watching my show. And I love everyone that's watching right now. Hopefully I get some more subscribers. Like, subscribe, comment. But know that the journey for a Detroit Lions fan, that road is the narrowest of roads. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for tuning in to today's show. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back sooner than later. Please, again, like, subscribe, comment. We still have not had anyone guess what OC means. I need someone to guess so I can give you that shout out. What does OC mean? The OC show stands for something. What does O? What does C? What does it stand for? Please let us know. Like, subscribe in the comments, and please Join us next time for the OC show. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.